Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Reginald Stinson, founder and CEO of UOP FX. And in this video, I'm just going to give you some additional tips on how to use this system to your advantage. Like I always said, this tool, you can actually trade strictly off of this. There's people that only use Heikin-Ashi to trade, which these are Heikin-Ashi candles. Some people only trade Rankos. Some people trade candlesticks to identify candlestick patterns and all that. It all depends on what type of trader you want to be. I know most of you guys are new, so I don't want you to confuse yourself with it all, because it's very easy to get confused, especially with so many new people coming in at once. Then we have the experienced traders in here as well that trade their way. So don't get confused. But what I will suggest to you is, once you figure out something that works, that you absolutely stick with it. Okay, that you stick with it. Hold on a second, guys. All right, so most of you guys already understand the rules of the hybrid system. I'm gonna explain to you the rules again to show you the power of this, and also I'm gonna show you another way to use this in addition to the other stuff, because like I told you guys before, this is pretty much my brain on a chart. Now, you're not gonna get everything right all the time. I'm not on here saying that I am Einstein or the best trader in the world, because I'm absolutely not. But I get a lot of questions about how do I trade, etc. And one thing about me is I'm all about simplicity. I want to make things as simple as possible. And this is a simple strategy and trading system to use in every aspect of trading. Okay, now I'm not going to talk about support and resistance and all that. I'm just going to show you something really simple as to how to use this. Now, first of all, I will suggest that you try to avoid adding a whole bunch of stuff on the chart. I know some people get this and then they add their own additional indicators on here, their own arrows and all that, and I'm telling you guys that you're only going to confuse yourself, and you're defeating the purpose of this system. Okay, because I know a lot of other indicators, especially the arrows, they repaint if you're using something else. Our arrows, they do not repaint. Okay, so once an arrow pops up, it's either going to win or it's going to lose. That's first and foremost. When you start adding these extra arrows and stuff on here, you know, it may look cute, but I'm telling you guys, you're only going to confuse yourself, and it's kind of a waste of energy space. You don't want to handicap yourself in that way. All right, that's first and foremost. Secondly, if you have not gone through, and this should have been first, if you have not gone through the UOPFX Academy, please go through the academy. Do not come in forex as a new trader and to immediately try to dive into using tools and indicators and wonder why you don't understand what the heck is going on. Okay, the reason why you don't understand what the heck is going on is because you don't even understand the basis of forex. You have to learn the skill first. Even though we have these great tools, you need to invest time into learning the basics before you try to dive in and try to make money immediately, which you end up losing money, okay, with these tools, because you don't really understand how they work. The more you know, the easier things become, and the more these tools such as this will begin to make sense. Okay, you can use this also as a confluence tool. So if you don't necessarily like Heikin-Ashi but you love this tool, what I typically do sometime, because I do understand how to read candlestick patterns and all that enough to where I'm able to identify certain things, is I will have hybrid open on one window because I have dual monitors, and I may be in trading view, for example, and have another chart open with the same pair looking for candlestick patterns, support and resistance, etc., on another screen and another chart. Okay, so not only am I looking at, for example, GBP/JPY on this screen, but on my other screen, which I'm on my laptop now, so I can't show you that example, I have trading view up that I may have drew on or whatever, and mapped out support and resistance Fibonacci or whatever I'm drawing on that other chart. And basically I'm just using this as a confirmation tool because these dots are waves. Okay, this is the Elliott wave indicator. So how this works, okay, sorry I had to go on a little rant. First of all, we're not going to trade. This is the normal rule. We're not going to trade in a certain direction until we see a dot go in that direction. We're going to flow with the trend. Now, obviously, I'm on a 15-minute time frame, and I have the trend set on 4 hour, which if you're going to trade on a 15-minute time frame, I wouldn't have the trend set that high. Max, I will go an hour if you're going to do 15 minutes and lower, okay? 4 hour, typically, you're swing trading at that point when you have the trend set on 4 hour or higher, okay? But I'm just going to leave it there for this example because that's not even really important. If you want to know the specifics of how the strategy works, go back in the section and watch that video because I'm not going to spend an hour explaining that. But I'm just going to do a quick overview to say, hey, we're not trading in any direction except where the dots are telling us. So if the dot is on the top, okay, then we're going to be looking to sell, which you have a sell arrow here that popped up and you see we took it down. Also, we have the crossover here at the bottom here, the MACD crossover. We're just going to call it that. The crossover below the 0 line, and boom, you see that signal actually won. And then comes back up. We see clearly, we are in a downtrend here. And hold on a second. Let me pause this here real quick. All right, sorry about that. So clearly, we are in a downtrend, right? I don't have to explain that because you see that if I draw my trend line, you see that the market is going down, okay? So you wouldn't be trying to buy in this situation. It'd be very high risk for you to even try that at this point. So arrow down, comes up, correction, down, down, even though that didn't go far, down, back up to test the trend line, then down again, okay? Now, one thing that I really wanted to focus on here in this video, because I'm not going to explain, again, the entire system, but if you're looking for more trades, in addition to what the arrows are showing, okay, this is what I want to show you guys because this is going to be very, very important, okay? Because again, we want to teach you how to be independent. You can use our tools, but we don't want to handicap you with just signals. We want you to know why you're taking a trade, okay? So I'm going to zoom in a little bit to show you this, okay? And I apologize, my computer's moving slow for whatever reason. But we know we're in a downtrend. If I go on a daily, we're in a downtrend. 4 hour, we're in a downtrend, okay? Now, I'm going to take my trend line. Now, we got the white dot above. We're still in a downtrend. So market goes down, okay? First of all, we can take this from this situation, draw that like so, okay? Trend line break, boom, sell, okay? Here's another situation, okay? You got the market correcting, going up above the signal line, okay? And it's going through the blue moving averages. These blue moving averages are corrective moving averages. I only use them to identify the correction. And when they pull back through all three in a downtrend, I'm looking to sell potentially, but I'm going to watch price action. So how will I know if I'm going to sell in this case? Okay, what I would do is I will simply, while that's correcting, I'm just going to draw a trend line. And what indicates a trend line is 2 to 3 touches, okay, on the line indicates a trend line. So I will simply just draw that line like this while price is going up, and I'm just going to wait for price to break that trend line again before I enter the sell. Okay, super duper simple, and Manny will probably talk about this tonight. All right, so coming down here again, okay, and you see how far price went down, okay? Coming back again, you got a white dot here, so I'm not going to get into this trade. Again, some of you guys get so impatient and you want to trade 24/7. to where you're jumping in bad trades. You're not waiting for the market to come to you. So I wouldn't even get into the market in this case. What I would do, okay, is I'm looking at price here. Okay, I see it's going back up. Got another white dot to go down. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait, even though it broke here. But then I don't know what time this was. It looked like 3:45 during the time I don't trade. But you got a lot of consolidation here. Okay, so what you could have done in this case, because down here the blue and red line is hanging right above that zero line. Oh, right on it. Okay, but you got the Elliott wave dot, which is telling you that a potential wave down is coming. So if you wanted to catch this move, okay, what you could have done is, in this case, when the market went up to here, hopefully you can see my mouse cursor. What I would have done is I would have took my signal line basically from here, this white dot, and I would have drew this 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. Okay, I would have drew it like that. Okay, my stop loss would have been right where this white dot is. Okay, and you see price never got there, and I would have entered the trade on the trend line break. Soon as it broke, it came back up and retest, and you notice that price went up to this area, wick back down, came back up, wick back down, came back up. That's 3 touches right here. Okay, in this area here. So this is a good resistance zone. Okay, it's resisting. So I know price is getting ready to drop. Okay, because it's not breaking through that area. So I come here again. I can even draw right here. Okay, come down, boom, and then look what happened. Price collapse. Come over here again, price drops. All right, you made a lot of money there. Then I come here again while price corrects. Look, guys, this is easy. I draw another trend line. Okay, you see that? That's a nice flag too. And then what do you do, ladies and gentlemen? You wait for the break. And then looks what happened. Look what happened. It dropped again. Okay. So this is really not rocket science. It's really easy. You just got to be patient. That's the key thing. Patient. Okay. Draw another trend line here. Okay. Look at what happened. Price collapse. We're following the trend. Okay. Here's a dot going up. So I'm not going to be selling in this case because the market is probably going to correct, which it did in this case. And you see that it went all the way up to test that overall trend line. Okay. Right here, it tested that trend line. So what are you going to do, Reginald, in this case to make sure that the market is going to continue down? Let me come down here to find that. So what do you do in this case? All right. So you can either you see it went up, came back down, price went up, came back down. But the thing I love about Heikin-Ashi candles is pure price movement. Okay, you're not going to get a whole lot of mess. So you could have gotten in when you saw that red candle, or you could just simply wait for the trend line break. Now, granted, you miss a lot of pips by waiting. Okay, but if you're high risk, you can set your stop loss right above this high where this white dot is. And as soon as you get 3 solid candles here, which technically, let me see here. Let me draw this trend line. I'm going to draw the trend line basically from this bottom to here. All right. You could have gotten the trade there even before it crossed over. Okay. Now that's a little high risk. All right. But you still could have done that because look what happened. You could have set your stop loss just above this high right here because it hit the trend line. Okay, here's your indicator because I'm not even talking about the other indicators. Here's the overall trend line here that I drew above. Okay, it bounced off that trend line. That's a confirmation. And it broke this trend line. That's a confirmation. All right, so I can hop in that trade and set my high here. And then you look, if I even take this from this point all the way down here, that's 216 pips. Okay. Come here, draw another trend line. Look at that. You see the dot? Break the trend line. Look at what happens. I'm gonna take this from here all the way down here. That's another 108 pips. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this process can be extremely simple. But what you want to do first is, what I would suggest, you want to identify the overall trend if you're going to use this method, which you see from the hour time frame or even from the 4-hour time frame. You can draw your trend line, okay, which you see I've already done that, because whatever you draw here is going to translate to the lower time frames. So right here, trend line, I got one touch here, two touches, and I just take it all the way down to the last candle. And then if I'm going to be scalping or whatever I'm doing, I'm going to drop to the lower time frame, and I'm just going to watch the market, wait for the corrections, and just follow the trend. Wait for the dot, which in this case, I'm going down. So I'm not going to do buys in this case. You got the dot right here above, so I'm going to wait for that one, draw a trend line, and just follow it, wait for the break, take it all the way down here. So from here to here, that's 141 pips. Wait for the market to go up, even though you can trade this if you wanted to, but I'm just going to follow the trend. Okay, you could technically trade this if you did that, but we're following the overall trend. I'm not going to trade against it. Okay, which this is old, so it's no telling what the trend was back there. But you get my point. Okay, even right here, you could have did this if you wanted to counter trend, but I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest staying with the trend. It's going to be a whole lot easier on you if you do that. So hopefully that made sense. I wanted to cut this quick video real quick because I'm getting a lot of questions privately from people about certain things, and I would suggest that if it's not anything personal, that you post the question in a group, or if it's something super technical, send a support ticket. All right, because my private messages, I don't see them all, and I can't really answer them all the time. And secondly, whatever you post openly can be a teaching moment for someone else to kind of keep support tickets down and private messages down. So that's why we recommend you post it in the group, unless it's something super personal, because someone else may have your same exact question. All right, so that's it. Hopefully this helps, and make sure you all are on the webinar tonight with Manny. Bye-bye.